we start the discussion with received power calculations. Received power calculations. So there will be a transmitting end and receiving end. So this is transmitter and this is receiver. It transmits with a power of say PT. So as you increase the transmit power, the amplitude waveform peak value will be increasing, and the received power will be corresponding received power will be say PR, and the received power is depending on both the transmit power as well as the TR separation distance. Say that is what D. So the transmit power is depending on both, the receive power is depending on both the transmit power as well as the TR separation distance, means transmitter receiver separation distance. So we are going to have now an approximated relationship between PR of D and PT. So why we are calling an approximate relationship? Because we are going to analyze from the basic wireless medium, which is free space. So basic wireless medium is free space. So we are doing free space communication analysis. So free space communication. So free space means in this there will be no obstacles between transmitter and receiver, and there will not be any other objects will be there in the surroundings of transmitter and receiver. That is what we call it as free space. So if you consider the transmitting as a point source, the transmitting antenna as a point source if you consider, and similarly you consider the receiving antenna as a point source, and we now talk about this antenna is a source and is a sink, point sink, and is point source. So the antenna is, say for example, is omnidirectional, means it radiates the power equally in all directions. So that antenna we call it as what? Omnidirectional. Similarly, you can also have what? A receiver which is what? Which receives equally from all the directions. Means there will not be any suppressions or there will not be any directivity. Okay, so it is what omnidirectional, it is transmitting antenna, and is omnidirectional receiving antenna which acts as point sink. Okay, so now how do we relate a simple relationship between PT and PR is, so it radiates total power PT at this point. Now as this goes like this, and the power flux density will be reducing. As you go further and further, what happens is, here the distance, as this distance is increasing, say at distance r, what is the power flux density is the transmitted power PT, power flux density we are talking about now, not power, it transmits PT power, and power flux density say is equal to, say you can call this as PFD something, is equal to PT divided by 4 pi r square. At this distance of r, the power flux density will be Pt by 4 pi r square. It means you have to consider at this distance r, it is a three-dimensional sphere of radius r. Then what will be the power flux density on its surface? Is nothing but it encloses how much power? Pt. On its surface, what will be the power flux density is Pt by 4 pi r square. And how much power flux density is striking the receiver? So at the distance of d, so we are now interested about to find the power flux density at distance of d, where receiver is located from the transmitter. At this location, the power flux density is Pt by 4 pi d square. Now what will be the received power is, so not all the power flux density will be captured by the receiving antenna, only a certain portion of it will be only captured by the receiving antenna. So that is what you can write. The received power is equal to, at the receiving antenna is equal to Pt divided by means PFD into is the density into the effective area of the area or antenna aperture into effective area of the antenna, or not the entire not the total whole antenna can collect the power flux density, only a certain portion of antenna can receive the power. So we call this AE as effective area of the antenna or antenna aperture. We call that AE as either effective area of antenna or antenna aperture. In literature, the antenna aperture the antenna aperture for the omnidirectional receiving antenna is given as lambda square by 4 pi. So for omnidirectional, for omnidirectional receiving antennas, the antenna aperture is equal to lambda square by 4 pi. Then the received power will be equal to, which is power flux density at distance d into antenna aperture, which is then now Pt by 4 pi d square into lambda square by 4 pi, where lambda is what? Wavelength of the communication. Lambda is what? Is wavelength. So which you can find the C by the carrier frequency of the communication. So whatever carrier frequency you are using, that is something about what? Wavelength. So C by Fc. So now we got the so for free space, it is only for free space. It is only for free space. So for free space, the received power PR of D is equal to, where D is the separation distance, PR of D is equal to Pt divided by 4 pi d by lambda whole square. This can also be written like this, is pt by simply lp. Just we are simplifying it. So we're doing this lp as what? Called as path loss is equal to 4 pi d by lambda whole square. Now if you see this equation, the received power is the distance d is inversely proportional to the square of the distance. So this is also called as inverse power law. Inverse, you can also call this as inverse power law, means the received power will be decreasing right, with respect to the square of the distance. So if you just plot this like this, so this we are discussing for free space. We can generalize this for arbitrary other wireless medium. So it will be something like this. It goes like this. So as d increases, the received power will be decreasing like this. So one more thing what to mention here is that this equation we cannot find the received power for a smaller value of distance d. For example, if I substitute for d equal to 0, then the received power will be what? If I substitute d equal to 0, so the received power will be infinity, right? So it is only for certain distance of d we can predict the received power by using this equation. So what we call that as, this equation only works for those distance d for greater than df. It is called what? So there is a transmitter here. So within the df we can't use this equation. Only after df we can find the only after df distance. So within df, if this is a transmitter, within the df we can't use this equation to find received power. Only after df at certain point only we are going to we can use that equation to find the received power. So this is called as far field region. So what I am trying to say is this equation can be used only in the far field region of the transmitting antenna. Means after a certain distance only. The distance we are denoting as what? df is called as far field distance. df we call it as what? Far field distance. It's called as far field distance. So df is found in literature as 2d square by lambda. So those distances which are greater than df, for them only you can use this equation. For less than this distance, where this capital D is what? This is the largest dimension of antenna, transmitting antenna, and lambda is what? Wavelength. So largest means, like for example, if it is rectangular antenna. So diagonal length will be nothing but what? Its largest dimension. If the antenna is parabolic, like dish kind antenna, then you can take the diameter of the antenna as what? Largest dimension of the antenna. So by using this you will find, so this will also be in meters or something, fraction of meters, and lambda will also be in fraction of meters. So finally df will be in a few meters only, far field distance. So you can able to find the received power only for those distances which are above this df, which is nothing but a few meters. There is one more way to get rid of these smaller distances. We can find the received power in terms of received power at a reference distance. We can find received power in terms of received power at a reference distance. Now what is the received power at a reference distance? D naught is PR of D naught is equal to PT divided by 4 pi D naught by lambda whole square. So this is the reference power at reference distance, received power at reference distance. Then you can write this general PR of D expression is what? PR of D is equal to PT by 4 pi D naught by lambda, D by lambda whole square. This we can write it as D naught by D naught. This is D only. D naught by D naught whole square. Then it can be written as PR of D naught into D naught by D whole square. So this is a way what to get rid of the small distances. So we find received power in terms of the received power at a reference distance, provided D naught is what? In the far field. So D naught, the value, the distance D naught must be in, D naught is must be in. So we can represent the received power in terms of received power at reference distance, far field region or antenna far field region. So in antenna far field region only this equation can be used to predict the received power. Okay. So it is actually, so what we have got finally is in terms of simplified version in terms of reference power, reference distance received power. PR of D is equal to, so PR of D naught into D naught by D power 2. So here in the power, the 2 we got for free space, the power 2 we got for free space. If it is not free space, some arbitrary area, maybe there are some buildings, roads, trees are present. So from area to area, more or less the received power will follow the same equation, similar equation, except this exponent term. The exponent may be, or the power may be different for different areas. So for that purpose, we write general for general arbitrary area. So the received power as PR of D naught and to D naught by D, write like this, N. So N is, we call it as path loss exponent and it is equal to 2 for what? Free space communication. For free space communication, and it will be greater than 2 for open areas, and some arbitrary area. And the path of this exponent will be less than 2 for indoor propagation. For indoor propagation. So indoor propagation means, for example, Wi-Fi access point is here within the room, and you also means the user also is within a room. Then they will experience the same equation, but the path of exponent is what? Which is less than 2. Why it is like this, we will discuss it later. But it will go like this. So that is here. That is the today's discussion, and we just now cover the dBs and dBm now for 2 minutes. So everybody knows what is dBs. So decibels. How do you convert from linear scale to dB scale? If there is some x value in linear scale, means some number, decimal number. So decibel will be nothing but what? 10 log x base 10 is what its decibel value. 10 log x base 10. So in electronics you will see for voltage they take 20, and what for powers they take 10. But here we take what? 10 log x base 10 only, because we consider all of them are what? Powers only. So dB, how do you find the x dB? X in dBs will be equal to 10 log x base 10. That is dB. Similarly, there is a dBm. So actually, for example, if it is 1 watt of power, in dB how do you find? So 1 watt means 10 log 1 will be what? 0 dB. Is what? 0 dB. 0 dB. You can write watts also. So how do you represent 1 watt of power in dBc is 0 dB watts, like this. So just you substitute 1 there and you will find what? dB. And dB is actually to represent the quantities in milliwatts. The dBm is actually what we used to represent the quantities in milliwatts. For example, if there is 1 milliwatt, so if 1 I substitute there, what I am going to get is 0 only. Then I write it as what? It is 0 dBm, because it is milliwatt. So it means whatever quantities we have, so what you do is you just separate milliwatts, and whatever the here remains, take the dBs of them, that is nothing but what? 0 dBm. So in generalized way, so how do you find the x value in dBms? So dBm is equal to, so 10 log x by 10 power minus 3. So this way one can find the dBm of some linear value. So what you can do is you just separate the milliwatt here. How do you separate it? Just divide by milliwatt and millis, then take the dB value. So that will be nothing but what? dBm. So now this quantity is in dBm. If you want, you can also attach watts, dBm watts. Or you can just leave what? dBm values or dBm watt, just to represent it is what? Power. So if you simplify this, it will be like this. So it is 10 log x base 10 is there. 10 plus 10 log or what minus 10 log base 10 power minus 3 or is equal to what? This is x in dBs, so it is x in dBs, and minus will be what? It will be equal to plus 30. Then this will be in what? The value will be in dBm. So if you want to convert dBs to dBm, so what you just do is just add 30 to dB value, then it will be what? dBm. Similarly, if there is dBm value is available with you, then you want to find dBs, then what you do is subtract 30 and you'll get what? dB value. For example, I have the dB quantity is 10 dB I have. What is its dBm value? dBm value is nothing but I'll just add 30. I'll get what? Its dBm value is 40 dBm. Similarly, I have dBm quantities is 70 dBm I have. dBm quantity. How to find its dB value is nothing but minus 30 and that is equal to 40 dB. So this is the one more thing you can do. The difference between two dB values. Say for example, I have x dB and minus say some other quantity, say y dB. The difference will also be in what? dBs. Why? Because see here it is 10 log. So 10 log base 10x minus 10 log y base 10. So it will be again what? 10 log x by y. So it is also dBs. So 10 log base 10 and some quantity you get. So that is what. So difference between dBs will also be in dBs. Will be dB in dBs. Similarly, the difference between dBms will also be actually in what? dBs. So how do you show this as? So x dBm means you can write this as x dB plus 30. Its dB value is nothing but what? X dB plus 30. dBm value is what? X dB plus 30. Similarly, write y dBm as what? Y dB plus 30 and minus of minus will become what? Minus 30. This will both will be cancelled and we get now what? X dB minus y dB. So what you get finally is the difference between two dB values. So the difference between two dBm values also will be dBs only in quantity. So that is today's discussion. So some problems should be done on this. Thank you.